So here are my brand new granite countertops. I paid around $100 a foot for these things, and I was told they would be absolutely perfect by the owner, Viatar, of Absolute Marble and Granite in Lafayette. These are marks that he made after I brought up and said that there are issues that I was unhappy with the way everything's been cut. He didn't find an issue with any of this. The edges are all wavy. Like if you rub your hand along the edges, they're kind of wavy. Get some showing the corners here that I mean, when you look at a corner straight on, it should be straight, not kind of, you know, at an angle. See things like the edge, you know, it's kind of lumpy. Not really sure I agree with that. You can buy the same stone from Home Depot for $60 a foot. You can see how it's kind of lumpy along there. If you can see the light kind of reflects on it. Anyway, I mean, it's not a huge kitchen. It's only 52 square feet or so. But I didn't care for the corners because they kind of, you have this piece that it sort of sticks out further on the bottom than it does the top, so it's at an angle. It doesn't go straight down. I don't understand why. So everything else I've looked at does. Let's come in here and we can get a close-up of the seam. Trying to show it here. It's kind of chipped up, and I don't really think that's the best seam in the plan, you know. Not really all that great. I don't think so. That's again, this is all personal opinion. You also have here, you have one side that sticks up higher than the other, and the opposite on the back. So like it needs to be shimmed up, I guess, something or another. I mean, you have some major chipping going on the underside of that stone, where you look like there's actually a little patch right here. It's not really noticeable from the front, but the underside it is, which it's not that big of a deal because it's the underside. But you see right here, your overhang on this side versus this side, obviously different overhangs. I'm going to show you with the tape measure in a minute. It's also a different overhang over here, and then this one's really fun. This one's about 2 inches on that side and 1 inch right here. So to me, that is not kosher. Again, he marked this corner. This is a paint pen that he used to mark to show how much over his countertop is, where he needed to cut it and smooth it out. And see if I can't get this seam very well. This has a lot of chipping, I find be a little excessive. I was promised that the seams would be perfect and I wouldn't be able to see them, yada yada yada. I mean, the stone has a great flow, and I think he probably did take his time and make sure that everything was cut all nice, and well, not nice, but make sure that it was cut so where it actually flowed well. We do have a sizable crack on the backsplash, along with some adjustments on our sheetrock, of course. Also have a seam right here, and this is 103 inches, but the other backsplash is also 103 inches. Now, we purchased 2 full slabs of granite for a 52 square foot kitchen. You can see a nice dip right there in the backsplash. You know, that's kind of like there's a little wasp flying around, and the door open a lot today. Anyway, but the 2 backsplashes are the same length. This one doesn't have any seams in it at all. This one does, which, like I said, we bought 2 full slabs for a 52 square foot kitchen. So that kind of confuses me, why there wasn't enough to do that. This is pretty wonky right here. And then this is where you start with another one of his lines with the overage that needs to be cut. It's as if this whole piece right here, he has another line right here where this needs to be cut. And then this needs to be cut as well, but the problem is you have a sheetrock wall over there, and I don't want them cutting into my sheetrock, you know, because obviously that's going to be a mess. But it overhangs about 1 inch more on that side than it does on this side. And we're not talking about a huge run. I mean, this is 7 foot. Here's where the fun starts. Let me pull out my tape measure here. We have on the edge here, we're just about 1 inch. See, I mean, that's pressed up, not playing any games, any tricks. So it's slightly over 1 inch. 1.125 or so, something like that. Come about halfway down, and we're over 1.5 inches already. See, I mean, that's pressed up all the way. And then we come on down to the end, and we're almost 2 full inches. I think the end actually is just under 2 full inches, so 1 15/16 or so, something like that. But either way, I mean, you have almost a full inch. He didn't seem to find a problem with this when he installed it. I mean, you can tell looking at this stone when you're standing here. You know, you have a definite issue. Come on the end right here. What do we have right there? It's about 1.5 inches. We come about 1.5 foot over, and we have almost 1 7/8 inches. So I mean, that's a considerable amount in, you know, this short width right here, the width of a cabinet, whatever that is, 30 inches. You're got a good little chunk over. Let's come back and take a look at the overhang here. We have 11 inches on one side, and if we come on over all the way to the other side, which isn't that far, we have 12 inches right here. And that entire piece is, sorry for the camera action there, right under 80 inches. So, you know, man, 6.5 feet, and you have a full inch difference in your overhang. It's like this entire piece, like I said, was cut at an angle. It got cocked a little bit. So, but we come over here and we have just about 1 inch, just, you know, just under 1 inch, maybe 15/16. And we come over on this side and we have 3/4 of an inch. So that's off. We measure right here, other side of the dishwasher, you kind of have 1.25 inches or so. Come on the other side and still have your 1.25 inches. Then let's come all the way down to the end and just over 1.5 inches, maybe 1 5/8 inches. And that one's really not that bad, but still 3/16 off on, you know, this short of a run to me seems, like I said, personal opinion on all this stuff. I think it's a little excessive, but Viatar, Absolute Marble and Granite, Lafayette, Louisiana. I have not let him come to fix anything. I have not let him come to cut out the cooktop. There's some cracks right there. Here's a nice little crack. The stone went over every square inch of it when I purchased it, and it had 0 cracks whatsoever. I'm being told that, well, it's stone and it cracks, and that's what it does. The reasons that the stone is not straight, none of the edges are straight, and they're all wavy, is because his shop has poor lighting and they don't have expensive machines and they have to cut it by hand. And it's a 12-step process that I obviously do not understand. There's more cracks. A little fine crack, kind of see that one. I don't know if some of those are actually just cracks or just fissures or what they are, but we have a nice scratch right here in the corner, which I have not used the countertops at all. You know, the 2 holes that he drilled for the faucet and the handle for the faucet. The one in the middle is it's about a 1/4 inch off, which isn't that big of a deal when it's centered on the window, but it's not perfect. But he put the other one almost 10 inches away, which is a little odd. But yeah, you know, small issues there. And there's one more crack I wanted to show in this. Here we go. Like I said, none of the stone had any cracks when we paid for it, so I don't know. He claimed that the scratches showed up at his shop. It showed up at his shop that way, so I don't know why he accepted it and did not return it at that point or give me a phone call at that point. This is also supposed to be a pencil edge, and to me that's kind of like I don't know, it's not very pencil-y. You can see how wavy it is right there. You can see it's kind of lumpy. And I don't know if that's how stone's supposed to be, but everything else I've felt does not feel that way. And it just feels odd when you rub your hand along it. I mean, it's not really, you can see it's kind of, He claims that he didn't see any issues on it. So, you know, and I understand. Things happen, but for the amount of money that we paid, you know, right about $100 a foot for this install. I just think that it should have been done better, and he's refusing to pull it. He just wants to send his guy to come make a big mess in the house and try to polish stuff out, which we know for a fact not all of it can be fixed on site. So anyway, I just wanted to show this and let anybody know if they're in the Lafayette, Louisiana area, Absolute Marble and Granite did this work. And if you shoot me a message, send me a note, whatever the case is, I will be more than happy to let anyone come into my home, take a look at this, and inspect it for themselves, see what they think about it. So that includes builders, real estate agents, just regular people. If you just want to come have a good laugh at me, knock yourselves out. Anyway, enjoy.